Hello everyone. Now, since we have understood what is the importance of logbook and why do we fill the logbook, the entries of the parameters, the historical significance, the other important things, the trend analysis and troubleshooting. These are the factors for which we are filling the logbook. Now the second module, why it is of so much importance.
To every marine engineer out there, from junior engineer to chief engineer and electrical officer, we all know that earning respect on ship is very important. We all know fast promotions are very important, and we all know that इज्जत कमानी है, promotion चाहिए तो काम आना चाहिए, तो जूते पड़ते हैं, गालियां पड़ती हैं, and for that you need a good mentor. Sometimes we keep finding those mentors on board ship, अगर नहीं मिल रहे तो MNDFLIX है ना, Merchant Navy Decoded has launched a subscription model where you can find more than 30 plus courses with respect to your rank, helping you earn respect on ship. Please enroll on these free trial videos, watch these videos as per rank, and then decide whether you want to invest or not, with a very good flexible payment plan as well. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat, Jai Mata.
Because legally the logbook is enforceable. The overview that we have seen in the previous module, here we will see it is an official ship's record, but which convention, how does it become an official ship record? As per the SOLAS chapter 5 regulation 28, it requires the vessels to maintain official logbook data, and as per this convention, SOLAS convention and MARPOL convention, your vessel can be held responsible for not maintaining the correct entries in the logbook or any uh, misinformation, if there is any carried out in the logbook. Here I want to draw your attention to why logbook must never be tampered. Okay, and because I hope the public who is watching this is in the initial stages of their career, so I'll draw your attention to why it is important of not considering the logbook as a mere paperwork, or not tampering the logbook. I'll take you to one of the incidents that happened during my initial days of joining. When I joined, I was not very aware of how important the logbook is. So one fine day, it happened so that I was because I was a junior engineer, I was a fifth engineer, and I had to carry out some routine activity where oil transfer, and my oil hands were full of grease or something like that. And even if I took attention, I cleaned my hands. I was afraid that um, I cleaned my hands, and when I made the entries into the logbook, the oil marks were seen in the pages. So because of it was a night watch, and I was afraid that morning somebody sees it, it will be a big trouble, I'll be caught, or the chief engineer will shout at me. So what I did is, I thought this is just a paperwork. What I did is, I very carefully I tore off a page from the logbook, and there and then and there, what happened is, since I did one mistake, uh, and the next watch keeping engineer, when he came over to take watch, he could identify that one of the pages are missing. So when they found out something, they came to me, and then I had to accept it, that yes, I have done this thing. They shouted at me, but then and there, at that day, I realized how important the chief engineer, with folded hands, he asked me that, do you really know what important the logbook is? If the PSC finds out that I have tampered with the logbook, or I have falsified the record, or I have carried out this thing, I am going to be behind the bars. Behind the bars means be in the jail. So if you are tampering, or if you are doing some mistakes with the logbook, uh, filling the wrong entries is not a problem. Filling the wrong entries, maybe by a mistake you have done something wrong, or in that case, when I had made the oil page dirty or oily, let it be like that. that can be explained, but tearing of the page cannot be explained. So tampering cannot be explained. Say, what can happen? The PSC can detain the vessel. Disciplinary action can be taken. The chief engineer can be put behind bars that you have carried out such and such mistakes. So for that, never ever put, say you have written with pen and you made a, you know this blurring of the entries like that. Never overwrite on the entry that you have made on the logbook. Okay, never ever tear off a page or something like that, even if the page is totally dirty or something like that. So that is one thing. For, say, if you want to make a correct entry, just say, for example, this is a logbook entry. Okay, this is a logbook entry, and say you want to correct this one, just put a straight cut like that and write the correct value 200 to, say, 200. Okay, maybe it will look short, but it will be signifying as to what entry you have corrected. Okay, old entry is also seen and the new entry is also seen. Just acknowledge this with your signature and say you can put your rank. Okay, so this acknowledgement will say that yes, I have made a mistake and I have corrected it with this uh, method. So this is the correct method of correcting your entries in the log. Okay, human errors are acceptable even by PSC or even by any inspector all over the world. But if you willingly carry out any falsification, say you are aware that there is a problem with this machinery and you say keep on writing the data that yes, it is corrected, correct, so you can be caught any fine day. So don't do that. Say, if you have made some mistake, don't take a whitener or a permanent marker like that and say, many a times it has been seen that juniors, they take whitener and they try to erase the data with whitener. So that way your old data will not be able to see, so there it becomes a problem. Okay, never ever use a whitener in the engineering logbook or for any official entry logbook, that entry book that you are using. Okay, or don't try to modify any data that is put into logbook. If it is wrong entry, just put a strike and put the correct entry and put your signature, even if it looks shabby or something like that, even if the page looks dirty. Okay, now, so that is the correct relevance of using the logbook, not falsifying the records and not tampering the logbooks. I have shared you with the real example. Okay, what is the best practice that we can carry out to put the entries in the logbook? So always make sure, when you are, say, if you have the duty to take engine room round before handing over the watch, or you are going to write the logbook, ask for an excuse, say 30 minutes before your watch ends. Even if you are involved in some of the job, take the leave of the senior engineer before 30 minutes that you have to uh, go for the logbook writing. Okay, then first of all, go and clean your hands with correct soap and detergent and everything. Make sure your hands are not sabby and clean. Okay, then you go for the round, take the correct values, that I will come to how you will take the values and all. Then with washed hand, dried hands, then you can attempt to write your logbook with a good pen and all. But one more important thing, many vessels do this practice, but also I'll recommend this to new guys, because sometimes what happens, our sleeves are also dirty. So even if you have made sure that all of your hand is clean, sometimes your sleeves, these kind of strings that you wear, they are oily and greasy, and due to which, when you are keeping this in your logbook, they will make marks on the logbook and make it dirty, and you will then commit some mistakes while you are afraid that okay, I can tear off the page or something like that. What you can do is take a sheet, laminate this sheet, plain sheet, and then use it to fill the logbook. Just to keep your hand on this, only your wrist, which is now clean and dried, is used to write the logbook. And that is a daily practice that you should do. Keep your hand, rest your hand on the sheet, okay, laminated sheet, so that even if your uh, even if your sleeves are dirty, even if your anything is which is coming like dirty or oily or shabby, will not disturb your logbook, will not make your logbook dirty. Okay, so keep that in mind um, while you are writing your logbook. This will prevent the oil marks, and thus that will make the entries correct. Okay, and you will have a good impression in front of your senior engineers, that yes, he is very critical and very cautious about making entries into the logbook. Yeah, work is important. I'm not saying that your maintenance that you left 30 minutes before was not important, but you should always spare time. If you are handed over the responsibility for leaving for filling the logbook, always spare your time 20 minutes, 30 minutes before the watch ends. Always spare the time to take readings in the engine room, and then take time 10 minutes to fill the logbook. Initially, when you are joining the vessel, it will take you long times to fill the logbook. That is why we have come across to make you aware of how the logbook data is filled and what all entries are there in the logbook, so that when you are joining for the first time, it does not look like a lengthy exercise or a nightmare to you when you are about to hand it over to fill the logbook. You are already aware of how a logbook looks like, and what all entries you have to make, and what all safety precautions you have to take when you are filling the logbook. So always remember the legal importance of the logbook, and why anytime you should not tamper the logbook. Okay, and what all consequences can happen if you are tampering the logbook. Always have that in mind when you are filling the logbook, or whenever you are doing any mishap with the logbook. Okay, thank you guys.